Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk. On April 4th, a new law went into effect here in the state of Ohio, which essentially allowed for police to pull you over if you had your phone in your hand at any point while you were driving. We're in a 6-month grace period, so you can't be ticketed with that as of yet. However, the state's already seeing early returns. So basically what they're seeing is people abiding by this law and using their phones even less than they were prior to this law passing. So we spoke with the Ohio Traffic Safety Office a little bit earlier today about this and about how promising this new data return is. And here's what they had to say. It's about a little more than a month since the illegal use or holding of a cell phone while driving, that ban has taken effect. This new data showing that it does work, or it has worked. I guess just to start off, your reaction to that and the reaction to the fact that this is having that positive effect.
Yeah, new numbers, the new data shows that Ohio drivers are spending less time on their phones since the new law went into effect on April 4th. We're pretty excited to hear about that. We're pretty encouraged so far, mostly because these drivers are changing their behavior and citations haven't even started. Less time on their phones, and they can't ticket or a fine just yet. Right now we're still in a 6-month warning period where you can only get stopped and get a written warning from.
Yes, so we're not at that point yet. However, is there a hope that we could see the numbers even decrease more once that 6-month kind of grace period ends?
Absolutely. You know, we have a campaign that's going on right now to basically educate drivers about the changes to the law, about what's not allowed anymore, what they can and can't do with their phones while they're on the road. So the more that campaign longer, we're hoping to reach more people, make sure they're aware that phones can't hold the phone while they're driving unless there's some certain exceptions. And then citations and tickets will begin in October.
I mean, this is really all about trying to establish a change in behavior. I mean, that's the key here, right? And the only way that happens is by making sure people are aware of the consequences of it. What are those consequences if once that grace period ends, someone is pulled over for it?
So once the grace period ends, obviously you can get a ticket for that. The first offense, I'm looking it up here, I believe the fine is $150 for the first offense. But we do offer an online distracted driving safety course. On that first offense, you can go online, take that free course, get your certificate at the end, and you can get that fine waived. That's just a one-time deal. And then after that, the fines go up. You can get points on your license for this as well. So after a certain number of tickets, you can get your license suspended for driving distracted.
This decrease here that we've seen, I mean, it tracks just so we have January, February, March, and then where we were April 4th to now. That shows a legitimate drop here, but we're approaching a time when many people are going to be heading out on the roads for road trips in the summer and things like that. I mean, this drop is coming at a really good time to try and make sure that people are aware, not just of the roads, but of the increase in traffic, of the increase in construction. I mean, this is a dangerous time on the roads. This is coming at a pretty good time for that.
Absolutely. You know, more people will be on the roads as summer vacation starts, summer travel starts. Hopefully more people are also welcome to changing their behavior and really understanding that driving distraction, you know, any distraction, whether it's a cell phone or not, you know, takes your attention away from the road. And when you're driving, the road demands your attention. We all know that road conditions can sometimes change pretty quickly with traffic or with weather. So the big message here is that when you're behind the wheel, your number one priority as a driver is to pay attention.
Judy, were you expecting the results to come this immediately?
I'm not sure if we were expecting it immediately. I'm not sure we were totally expecting to see a drop immediately. So the data comes from insurance apps, so it's people who opt in to being tracked. So we're pretty excited that just that audience who's using the insurance apps to track, you know, their driving behavior is already showing some positive results.
Yeah, I mean, any decrease is a good decrease when it comes to this, and you know, I mentioned when we have the construction individuals, we've seen a lot of crashes related to that, trying to eliminate those, and we've heard that from the Department of Transportation, Department of Public Safety, I mean, a lot here. Is the hope that when this gets into full effect, we look a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road and realize that this did have that legitimate effect and people were keeping the road safer and driving far less distracted?
Yeah, we know other states who have already changed their law to a hands-free law have already seen a drop in especially rear-end involved crashes with distracted driving. The numbers shown, from Cambridge already show that Ohio's ban, this drop in numbers has already saved Ohio from one fatality. So we're just really looking forward to see those numbers grow. And get more people on board, with changing their behavior. Distracted driving has become a bad habit for way too many drivers in Ohio.
Judy answered all my questions here. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on that we didn't during this interview?
Just the last thing I want to add that, while it shows that drivers are spending less time on their phone while they're behind the wheel, we just want to make sure drivers know there is no acceptable amount of time to be on your phone and be distracted when you're behind the wheel. Whether it's a minute 30, a minute, 30 seconds or less, there's no acceptable amount of time for a driver to be on the phone. I know a lot of people will justify and say it was just for a couple seconds, to send a text. And for us, that's way too much. Being distracted behind the wheel increases your likelihood of getting in a crash.
If you want to take a look at our full breakdown of this report and the report itself, you can head to our website right now at cleveland19.com. This is something we're going to follow as well once that 6-month grace period ends and they start ticketing to see how much of a difference we do see in this. And we're expecting to see a continual decline. That is something that they mentioned, that the state mentioned that they are preparing for once that grace period does end. All right, more on this story and the stories of the day coming up tonight on 19 News at 7:30, starting over on the CW in about 20 minutes. Hope to see you there. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson, 19 News. Have a great night. Much more to come, both on air and online.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung's